Attention all guests. Welcome to the 170th Commencement of Capital University. Please remain seated for the processional. The invocation will be given by the Reverend Drew Tucker, University Pastor. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the national anthem.
Friends, please join me in prayer. Here on the historic lands of the Hopewell, Miami, Adena, and Shawnee peoples, we invite the presence of the Holy One who calls us all to holy purpose beyond ourselves. We thank you for the gift of education experienced here at Capital University among faculty, staff, community partners, and the students of this graduating class of 2020. Send now your blessings upon these graduates, reminding them that on whatever lands they now live, in whatever ways they now serve, that you go with them with purpose, comfort, and love. Amen.
Please be seated. Everyone, please welcome Interim President of Capital University, David L. Kaufman.
Good afternoon, and welcome, class of 2020, to this long overdue event. Finally, we get to celebrate you. Yeah. Well, on behalf of Capital University faculty and staff, I extend sincere congratulations on this day of your commencement ceremony, a day we weren't sure you would ever get to experience. Today, you take your well-deserved walk across the stage and receive official recognition for the graduation you earned a year ago. Your graduation marks a new beginning and a milestone in your growth and achievement. This graduation is also an invitation to become a lifelong learner and forge new paths, often ones that you never could have imagined. Your final year at Capital was unlike any other, but you persevered and began a new life beyond your university experience. You've moved on, literally and figuratively. Over the last year, many of you pursued your vocational calling. Many of you have continued your academic pursuits in graduate school. Some of you have moved far from Central Ohio. Regardless of where you are in your life today, celebrate all you've achieved. Look back and remember the obstacles you had to overcome. Thank those that helped you overcome them, and find a way to pay it forward. We also celebrate your first year as an alumnus of Capital University. Value the relationships you made during your time at Capital. Because of the interactions with your classmates, your roommates, professors, and staff, you have changed both personally and intellectually, forever transformed by your Capital education. Let your life be shaped by the values and commitments you developed here. More than what you do, life is about who you are. Be a purpose-driven leader by getting involved and making a lasting difference in the community where you live, work, and serve. A difference that only you can make. Congratulations. And now I'd like to introduce the special guests here on stage, starting with my far left, Dr. Sally Stamper, Associate Professor of Religion. Dr. Stamper will read the names as graduates come forward. Reverend Drew Tucker, the university pastor. Dr. Jody Fournier, Provost, and our guest speaker, Andre Porter. Andre is a 2002 graduate of Capital University, where he was the student body president and played leadership roles in several student organizations. He attended law school at The Ohio State University and began his legal career with Schottenstein, Zox, and Dunn. In 2016, Andre joined the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator as its chief legal officer, and in 2018 was elected by the board of directors to serve as its corporate secretary. Please join me in welcoming Andre Porter, chair of the Capital University Board of Trustees, as this year's commencement speaker. Andre.
Well, thank you, Dave, and I'm so happy that you're all here, that you all came back to celebrate this day. And on behalf of our Board of Trustees, let me congratulate you on this important day of recognition. I want to recognize, of course, our graduates, but let me also recognize the parents, the moms and dads here. Of course, on this great Mother's Day, there's a significant amount of sacrifice, of pain, of joy that we all know that you've experienced over these years, and you deserve this recognition just as much as these individuals sitting in the center of the room today. Faculty and staff, of course, I'm honored to greet you and to recognize the contributions that you've made in the lives of these individuals. We know that it took significant sacrifices on your behalf to get them here today as well. It's interesting that you received your diplomas last year, but I thought that it was important that we continue to recognize the importance of public recognition. I think private celebrations are nowhere near, candidly, as fun as those that we get to do in person, collectively, like this. So in a public ceremony, there are those who are, of course, looking up to you as graduates. I had 7 siblings who were younger than me and 4 who were older than me, but certainly those 7 siblings who were looking up to me, and they were sitting in this audience, and it was a moment where they were actually able to recognize that, well, hey, I may be able to do that one day as well. So this public recognition that we're doing today is certainly about those who are looking up to you. We mentioned Mother's Day, of course, a few moments ago, and there are mothers here in the audience today who may be looking back on the sacrifice, the uncertainty, and I hope the joy and the happiness that they were able to experience with you. And today, this is a perfect gift for Mother's Day. Graduates, it's not all about everyone else, of course. It's also about you. It's also about the fact that, yes, I know you received the diploma more than a year ago or a year or so ago, but today we're doing the public recognition component of this so that we can tell you that you did it. You did it. Congratulations. So in brief, I wanted to just, and this will be candidly one of the most brief graduation speeches that you'll ever hear, and that's on purpose because I like to speak in threes, so I'll give you 3 key points here in a moment. But let me give you a brief snippet of just my personal background. It was in 2002 when I was sitting in your seats, and I was super excited, I should say, that I had been admitted to attend law school at The Ohio State University just down the street. A couple months after the graduation, of course, I arrive on campus, ready to go about my studies, and after the first week of classes, I personally decided that I was not going to continue with law school. Felt that it wasn't for me. Candidly, it felt too hard. Probably felt as if I wasn't prepared for that moment. Let's pause my story there for a moment and turn to what we know about you. So a year ago, I think the things that we would have said to you when you graduated were that we know that you've developed a significant amount of competence in your chosen field. We know that you became more independent during your time here at Capital, living on your own, and certainly in this year since graduation, you've become more independent. We know that during the time at Capital and beyond, you've established a greater sense of your personal identity. We know certainly because you're back here today celebrating with so many of your friends and loved ones that you built strong relationships. But I think perhaps most importantly, what I'd like to suggest today is that we believe that during your time here, and certainly since your time of leaving here, that you developed a greater sense of your purpose in life. And I know I've said this several times, that anytime you come in and there's someone speaking to you about purpose, it seems high level, lofty, or sort of an amorphous concept. But what I'd like to do, actually 1 year later for all of you, is ask you a few questions about the purpose in your lives that you might ponder and determine whether you're actually living it out. It's intended to bring this down to earth. So a couple questions for you about purposes. Are you actually doing the things personally that allow you to find enjoyment in life? Are you actually using those capabilities, your abilities that you've developed? Are you using those to the best of your own personal capabilities? Are you actually doing the things that matter most to you in life and not to someone else? You've actually had a year now since graduation. And those are really good questions to begin to ask yourselves about whether you're living in purpose. So as you go about doing this work of considering your purpose, what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer 3 brief pieces of what I'd like to suggest are hopefully sage types of advice. So the first type or piece of sage advice that I would offer for you is that I believe that small, repeated, and meaningful actions can, in fact, change the world. And I'm thinking that perhaps a year out now that you've probably learned that the world doesn't change overnight. So in this photo, we see that there is a very large cargo ship, and you've probably read or heard about this story. The cargo ship was named the Ever Given. The Ever Given had become wedged in the side of the Suez Canal and remained stuck there for 6 days. Billions of dollars of cargo, of course, were sitting outside of that canal waiting to pass through as the very small excavator at the bottom of the photo there chipped away. Very small excavator was doing something that I thought was very important. It was making very intentional, small, but repeated intentional digs with a significant purpose. And that purpose was to free the ship up. Had to do this several hundred times. I like this photo because it reminds me of the many times that personally I've become impatient. Become impatient with the pace of change in my professional life. Become impatient with the pace of change perhaps at work, or impatient with the pace of change at home. Have you become impatient? It's a great question to ask at this point in time. Have you become impatient with the pace of change in our world? Because as we look around, the problems in this world seem to be so large that we often want to close our eyes and pause and wait to open our eyes and think that the world will change overnight. My guess is that you've learned that the world does not change overnight. So my encouragement for you is to know that your small actions always matter. You might not get to see the results immediately for those small actions. Perhaps you may actually be laying the foundation for someone else, and you may not even receive the personal gain. Just know that every small, repeated, meaningful action can, in fact, change many things. It can change your career trajectory. It can change your personal satisfaction in life. It can impact your health. And yes, you don't have to change the world overnight, but just remember that those small actions, repeated, meaningful actions, can in fact change the world. The second piece of sage advice that I'd like to offer today is that change happens fast. And I've got a question for you is, how will you prepare? You might ask a different question is, are you prepared for the change? These are actually 2 trick questions for this audience, but let me first tell you about this photo. Many of us likely witnessed scenarios like this in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, where there were significant runs into stores on just about every supply in every grocery store. And here the gentleman in this photo is concerned about some personal health condition, I think, because he's stocking up on very soft, large amounts of bathroom tissue. Mostly bathroom tissue. There's some paper towels in there as well, but I think he's got a personal condition that he's concerned about. So it's interesting because there are always these events that happen in life, whether it's the old memories of the stock market crash of 1929, those of us who may have understood and studied Pearl Harbor, There are those of us who understand what happened in Tulsa, for example, with the Black Wall Street massacre. You name the event, the COVID-19 pandemic has been and was one of those events that shows us that change happens quickly. This change ensues quickly, and it's often outside of our control. The question of how you will prepare for that change, I said, is a trick one, because what I'd like to suggest to you is that you've always been prepared for this change. I think your resilience over the past year and during the last portions of your graduation showed that you've always been prepared. There are lessons that I think you'll look back on in your life, the countless lessons of perhaps it was losing in sports or winning in sports, experiencing personal losses, broken relationships perhaps. All of these are experiences that I would suggest have prepared you for every moment that comes in life. I'd hypothesize that you were already prepared for anything that would come your way, and what I would suggest to you is that in order to deal and to take best advantage of that preparation, that you simply avoid panic. Whether it's financial strategy through a downturn or dieting habits before a health crisis or lessons instilled early on in your kids to prepare them, preparation is always key. And yes, if you expect to have the health condition that the gentleman in the last photo had, yeah, then go out and stock up on lots of soft bathroom tissue. That's preparation, actually. The real point here is the training and experiences you've had and the lessons you've learned as you get older are your best preparation. So I would suggest you've always been prepared. You've demonstrated that over the past year. Avoid the panic as every new situation comes and it happens fast. You've always been prepared. My last piece of sage advice on this one, and I think this is a group that I need not even repeat this several times to, is that I think you have to keep your capital family close. And the fact that you're here today shows me that you all believe and recognize the value of keeping your capital family close. This photo here on the screen is part of my extended CAP family, although Erica and I both graduated from here in 2002. I've thrown photos of the kids on this screen here, and they're my extended capital family. It was my capital family of extended professors and friends who I graduated with, for example, who helped most when I decided back in 2002 that I was going to leave law school after 1 week and certainly likely would not be standing before you on this stage today. Those extended capital family reminded me that law school was in fact new to me and it was happening fast. They reminded me that I was in fact prepared and that I should avoid the panic. They told me most of all that they were my extended capital family and they were always there to help. So your family, your extended capital family may look different than this, whether it's your sorority sisters, your partners, your spouses, your teammates, your professors, and yes, as your family grows, it may look even different. They will know you best. Keep them close. They'll help to validate your purpose in life. They will keep you on track when you get tired of making those repeated but meaningful, small but repeated actions. They'll remind you to rely on your faith and rely on your preparation in times of crisis and in times of change. You've come back today and reconnected with your capital family. As a member of your extended capital family, I want to say congratulations to all of you, the class of 2020. You did it. Thank you for listening today, and go forth in peace. Thank you.
Please welcome Provost Jody S. Fournier.
President Kaufman, on behalf of the faculty of the college, it is my honor and privilege to present the candidates for Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Nursing, Master of Music in Music Education, Master of Arts in Education, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and Bachelor of Social Work.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I now confer upon each of you the recommended master's and bachelor's degree with all the rights and privileges, as well as all obligations and responsibilities.
The candidates will be introduced by Professor Sally Stamper. Dr. Fournier and Interim President Kaufman will now greet the graduates and present their diplomas.
Amanda L. Patton, summa cum laude. Emily Simonton, summa cum laude. Albany B. Fridley. Nicholas R. Smith, cum laude. Ariana Davis. It's all right. Corbin Matthew Brown, cum laude. Allison N. Huss, summa cum laude. Caitlin E. Abersold. Carly Marie Messina, cum laude. Dava K. Hennessy, cum laude. Roland A. Garza, cum laude. It's okay. Andrew R. DeWeese, summa cum laude. Matthew Baltzer. Madison Bishop. Madeline J. Polk, cum laude. Teresa Rose Odines, cum laude. Logan Pelfrey. Rebecca Lynn DeLong, magna cum laude. Aaron E. DeBow, magna cum laude. Rachel Joanne Robel, summa cum laude. Eva Bird Bayless, summa cum laude. Laura Parkinson. Lauren E. Helt, magna cum laude. Ellie N. Watchman, summa cum laude, whose diploma is presented by her father, the Reverend Steve Watchman, a member of Capitol's Board of Trustees. Riley N. Cochran, summa cum laude. Claire Dunphy, cum laude. Trudy Railing, cum laude. Allison Upchurch, magna cum laude. Carly A. Kime. Kendall Smith, cum laude. Victoria Ann Simon. Jared T. Cox. Michael Anthony Shirup, III, cum laude. Let me say that again. Michael Anthony Chirup, III, cum laude. Jacob Stuckert, summa cum laude. Cheryl Gray, cum laude. Elizabeth Marie Hand. Sarah D. Bishop. Courtney M. Kwiatkowski. Taylor K. McLeod, summa cum laude. Hunter J. Widener, magna cum laude. Jamie Lynn Kennedy, magna cum laude. Congratulations. Rebecca J. Horgan, cum laude. Peyton Scanlon. Heather L. Barr, summa cum laude. Sydney Dybert, magna cum laude. Kristen A. Brown, summa cum laude. Alyssa Greening. Nicole C. Coleman, summa cum laude. Bailey Sand, cum laude. Elizabeth A. Sadek, magna cum laude. Ann Major, cum laude. Monica Billings, cum laude. Morgan Henry. Ashley M. Swank, summa cum laude. Cameron Haney, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Festi, magna cum laude. Paul M. Morris. Lindsay N. Polson. Kaylin Reinecke. Maggie M. Petticord, summa cum laude. Alyssa A. Kimbler, summa cum laude. Taylor M. Ringel. It's okay. Joshua D. Phillips, cum laude. Benjamin T. Bushman, cum laude. Natalie A. O'Brien. Samantha M. Knight. Sharon Atayeva, cum laude. Let me say that again. Sharon Atayeva, cum laude. Joshua D. Leach, summa cum laude. Jocelyn L. Tisch, summa cum laude. Thomas C. Hamrick. summa cum laude. Michael C. Molaski, summa cum laude. Ian D. Sopko. Zachary Alexander Jerwitz, summa cum laude. Jacob A. Jerwitz, magna cum laude. Kelsey R. Roberts, cum laude. Alexandra Perry, cum laude. Amod Tapa. Ishan Tapa. Karen Paulina Diaz, magna cum laude. Alex C. Wilcox, magna cum laude. Oscar F. Landaverde. Latoya Moore. Samantha Nicole Montanez. Cassandra M. Lee. Diane K. Day, summa cum laude. Madam Dominique M. McIntyre. Andrew Regis McCullum. Christopher M. Murray, cum laude. Samara Simne Phillips. I'm going to read that one again. Samara Sine Phillips, summa cum laude. Daoud Al Hamad. Evan J. Butler. Avery Sylvester. Daniel B. Frankhauser. Jacob El Sayed, magna cum laude. Julie Ann Smallsreed, cum laude. Mackenzie R. Archibald. Teresa Ofe Cronting, cum laude. Cheney Simone Brown. Brianna K. Charles. Kiana J. Lawrence. Timothy R. Lewis. Catherine M. Adcock. Sienna D. Hill, cum laude. Gabriella Lee. Katie Lane Fenwick, cum laude. Brenna Mullins, magna cum laude. Nigel Conley Jackson. Andrew Christopher Esposito, whose diploma is presented by his mother, Laura Esposito, also representing her late husband and Drew's father, Dr. Steve Esposito, Professor of Communication. George K. Park. Miriam E. Alicia, cum laude. Sarabelle L. Tilton. Mary Grace May Shalinsky, summa cum laude. Samantha S. Schultz. Madison Stone. Reagan N. Stone, cum laude. Braden A. Illig, cum laude. Graduating virtually today, Glenn C. Cheney. Sarah M. Cordell, magna cum laude. Colin M. Cottrell, magna cum laude. Rachel A. Ellis, magna cum laude. Kennedy Jane Harden. Jacob D. Harper. Courtney J. Kusman, magna cum laude. Eva Serene Peterson Smith. Ashley A. Zapparado, summa cum laude. Congratulations.
We will now take a short pause while the graduates finish getting their photos taken. Please remain seated. Thank you. Welcome again, Interim President David L. Kaufman.
Wait. We wanted to pause just a moment to make sure everyone is back in their seat so that I could say this. Congratulations, graduates of the class of 2020.
Pretty good. It is now time to observe a commencement tradition for new alumni, or not so new alumni. Graduates, if you are able, please rise. To signify your graduation, please move the tassel on your mortarboard from right to left. Also, graduates, let's recognize those who helped you reach this important milestone. Please turn and applaud your families, friends, and loved ones and show your appreciation and support. And now we observe one final important rite of passage. Graduates, you will recall your very first days on campus. when our academic community was called together to welcome you as new students to Capital University. You celebrated with your family members as you processed through our Memorial Gateway to begin your studies. But as you know, Capital's tradition prevented you from exiting the gate, even for an extra year, until graduation. Now, years later, we invite you, if you haven't already, to fulfill this tradition as you mark the completion of your academic journey by walking out Memorial Gateway. So following the benediction and recessional, we encourage you to go to the gate for an informal celebration with your family and friends. There will be music and photo opportunities for you to enjoy, even in the rain. Or you can come back again to this beautiful campus when the weather will be more cooperative. Again, congratulations.
The benediction will be given by the Reverend Drew Tucker. Please stand.
Class of 2020, you may have left a year ago, but you did not leave our hearts and minds as we tried to figure out how we were going to celebrate you. And as we conclude this ceremony, it is my genuine honor to bid you Godspeed and farewell on behalf of our university. So receive this benediction. May you continue to find yourselves upon paths of blessing, and may you share those blessings with those who need them. May you find yourselves in environments of abundance and share that abundance with those that need it. May you find yourselves in communities of justice and ensure all who need it find justice. And to paraphrase an ancient Navajo benediction, may it be beautiful before you. May it be beautiful behind you. May it be beautiful above you. May it be beautiful below you. May it be beautiful all around you. And dear friends, whatever you are called to say and called to do, may you share that beauty with all the earth. Amen.
Please be seated for the recessional and remain in place until after all graduates have exited. A reminder for all the guests, please exit out the doors at the back of the auditorium. We invite you to make your way to the Memorial Gate lawn area for an informal celebration. Again, please exit out the doors at the back of the auditorium. All the graduates were given umbrellas. We invite you to make your way to the Memorial Gate lawn area for an informal celebration. Thank you.